Stage is set for the Democratic National Convention set to begin later today. And this is a live look inside of this year's venue, taking place in the United Center Arena in Chicago. People who live in the Windy City are already feeling the impact. There are road closures and tight security, as you can imagine, around the venue. More than 300 police officers from across the state of Illinois and Wisconsin have been called in to help Chicago police with any potential problems. Some businesses have already boarded up as a precaution.
Yeah, this comes after protests have already started in the city over the weekend. Demonstrators held banners and held signs that read "Free Palestine." They are calling for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. This is just the first of what's expected to be many demonstrations in Chicago this week. And about 50,000 people are expected to attend the DNC, and big names with the Democratic Party are set to take the stage as well. Including one of the biggest names later tonight. NBC6's political reporter Steve Litz is in Chicago with a preview of what you could expect to see this week.
The United Center in Chicago is set to host thousands of Democrats as they rally and then nominate Kamala Harris as their presidential nominee. Nikki Fried is chairwoman of the Florida Democrats and talking about enthusiasm heading into the process.
Lots of energy after the gavel drops each evening, continuing the enthusiasm and the energy, because the whole goal of convention is to really show strength in the democratic ecosystem, who we are, what we represent, what we fight for, and how we're going to carry this joyful energy from now until November 5th.
Democrats go into the convention with a reset when the Harris campaign quickly ramped up, gaining steam since day one. But numbers show an uphill climb for Democrats in Florida, who are outnumbered by Republicans. There are about 13.5 million voters in Florida. Back in 2020, Democrats held a slight lead with some 97,000 more voters. Today, Republicans lead Democrats with more than 996,000 voters. And both parties are looking to win over Florida's 3.5 million voters not affiliated with any party. Miami-Dade County Commissioner Kevin Marino Cabrera is a surrogate for the Trump campaign.
Right now, we just celebrate over 1 million registered Republicans over Democrats. Mind you, just 4 years ago, Florida had more Democrats and has had more Democrats than Republicans for its entire history.
Police have prepared for thousands of protesters, and the largest groups will likely be pro-Palestinian, calling for an end to the Israel-Hamas war. Delegates from South Florida start their business at an early Monday morning breakfast.
Monday night is set to be a tribute to President Biden. He and the First Lady are expected to headline the evening's events. Reporting from Chicago, I'm Steve Litz, NBC6 News.
There's a new poll out, and it shows Vice President Kamala Harris is gaining ground on former President Donald Trump in 4 key battleground states. A New York Times Siena College poll has Vice President Harris with a 4-point lead over former President Trump in Arizona, North Carolina, Nevada, and Georgia. These are states where polls showed President Biden trailing in the race before Vice President Harris took over the top of the ticket. Former President Trump spent the weekend campaigning in Pennsylvania, where he attacked Vice President Harris's new economic proposal.
Kamala laid out her so-called economic plan. She says she's going to lower the cost of food and housing starting on day one. But day one for Kamala was 3.5 years ago. So why didn't she do it then?
Donald Trump will continue campaigning in Pennsylvania today. Then he heads on to Michigan and North Carolina later this week.